Good evening, good evening, good evening, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Spilling Tea. I'm your host, Tiffany Daniels. And yes, folks, as usual, going back to the horrible world known as the JRC. But before we do the usual disclaimers, you are going to see the link here to this article right there in the description box. Isn't that right, Mr. Kitten? Right alongside the other pertinent links to the Stop the Shocks campaign, including Autistic Hoya's massive archive on the subject and the templates. Folks, you know the drill. Sign your name, click on your senator. And the ever present, self explanatory change.org Shut the Judge Rotenberg Center Down petition. Now, folks, when we talk about the JRC, you're going to hear vivid descriptions of and get clips of surveillance footage of people with disabilities being tortured and abused. If you got young children present, please use your headphones, all right? It is 4:38. We are in the middle of freaking the Way Day nightmare. So yes, I am brain dead. I'm angry at life in general, and I'm pretty sure air has it out for me. If I stumble over any of my words, folks, apologies in advance, all right? So we're going to where we left off, which is right here. Caruso, 2000, agrees that a key feature of theme parks is their peculiar and placeless dissociation from their surroundings, as Folcott 1973 points out. Institutional spaces, too, are characterized by spatial displacement wherein the inmate is rendered incapable of mapping their own topography while within the space. In such spaces, the outside is never visible, compounding a sense of dislocation and disassociation. Such spaces wall people off from the outside and actively work to present guests, inmates, with spaces that are at once spaceless and timeless. For Caruso 2000, no destination is too far in heterotopia because it nullifies the spatiality of the outside world while making its own reality the only reality available. Moreover, such spaces leave us suspended in a new reality, temporal, spatial, and social, we can experience, but the wider implications of which is yet to be fully understood. Lucas 2016 quotes a Disney architect about the goal of the theme space for the guest's experience and ultimately behavior. We overwhelm them. They forget tomorrow and they forget yesterday. Lucas 2016 goes on to describe this further in a way that is applicable also to the themed space of the JRC by arguing that theming functions in part by creating a new temporal or spatial order. Moreover, this evokes in guests or inmates a disorienting effect on their ability to accurately gauge the passage of time and their place within the themed space. Which I can tell you, folks, as an autistic, is a fucking nightmare from hell, okay? Just putting that in there. In such spaces, time is suspended. For guests, today, tomorrow are suspended. The only thing that matters while immersed in the theme space is the present, which is their ever-present fucking hell. The suspension of time and the disorientation as a result of theming which the guest experiences allows for any space to become like a theme park. Lucas 2016, page 214. Mr. Brahma, I know you want to speak with the management. Not now. Lucas' above contention is part of the agreement I am attempting to make here. Not that JRC is equivalent to a Disney theme park, but that certain temporal and spatial strategists employed in theme parks also used by those who created the space of the JRC in effort to disorient inmates and to modify their behavior towards the more neurotypical ways of being in the world, and that, moreover, this in itself is an act of violence. And it fails miserably. It may disorient and make us work to an extent. But being in that space is not going to make fucking anyone be more neurotypical. being in a space like that would make a neurotypical kid more fucking autistic-like. You can't have this idea here where you're going to tell us we're going to make them normal, make them like the rest of the world, make them like reality, by removing them from reality. Make it make sense. You cannot just basically create your freaking whole shop of horrors there and then tell me that, no, we're getting them ready for the real world by removing them from reality? Yeah, it makes no sense. You're sticking them in your kabuki world and you're expecting them to act normal in a place where your neurotypical romanticized student who doesn't actually exist would also lose their shit. Just saying. One of the desired effects of the manipulation of temporal and spatial aspects of the themed experience is the control of the visitor-inmate behavior. Dunlop, 1996, explains this further, arguing that coupled with spatial and temporal manipulation, Disney parks are places where experience is heightened by the manipulation of size, shape, and color, and sound. This particular aspect of environmental and sensory control through overwhelming the senses, described in detail by both former students of the JRC and those who have been permitted entry into the space, as it was noted by Survivor Masumba 2014 and journalist Gunnerman 2007 and Pinkerton 2007 in the introduction of this paper. We're going to end there because I want to keep it short tonight. I want you to think about this real quick. What they're trying to do here, I don't know what they're trying to do, honestly. Honestly, I cannot understand this concept. Because on one hand, you say you want to make these kids, quote unquote, more acceptably neurotypical. I only got one thing to say to that. Oh, go ahead, boo, JRC. I've seen what makes you cheer, you sick fucks. Neither here nor there. How in the name of God are you preparing a student to encounter reality when they come into that school? How are you going to fucking make someone like me who has worked in the field believe that by the time they're done with their kabuki horror house that they're going to be ready for the real world? It doesn't work like that. When you take a kid to a Disney theme park, you're taking the Disney to be a fucking kid. Therefore, the whole thing works. But this premise falls apart at the very beginning. You can force neurotypicalism on us all the fuck you want to, but it's not going to make us magically neurotypical. And I know that hurts you because you really want to shut some of us up. And on that note, folks, I'm going to close out this afternoon. We don't get very many views on this channel, especially on this topic, and the few that we do tend to get removed from time to time. So please don't forget to hit that like button, hit subscribe, and don't forget to hit the comments. Do appreciate your time tonight, and as always, we here at Spilling Tea hope you have a good one. Bye-bye.